everybody, Kiwi Dynamite here. Hello to each and every one of you out there watching. So, today I'm going to be reading comments from my Avatar The Last Airbender t-shirt. From my Avatar The Last Airbender videos of you guys commenting. And, just my response. I'm going to read some of the comments, and I'm using my nephew's phone because I have to use my phone to record. Let's start with Temmie A. They say, honestly, in ATLA, you can tell when someone likes them when they blush. True. That happened with Korra and Sami, and that's when I was like, wait a minute. Who else did it? Aang and Katara, obviously. I think Zuko and May. I think May blushed. And Toph did it with Sokka. I was like, hold on a second. Just give it a few years. I see it. So yeah, that is very true. So someone said, great video. I feel like most people who get emotionally attached to their views on this matter are often projecting their own experiences as they feel personally invested in either of the three characters involved. I'm a bit on the fence between these two romances, but I'm leaning more towards Kataang. I feel like this issue comes down to how one views relationships and whether or not relationships are to be seeked or formed mutually. I think the biggest criticism of Kataang is that it feels too much like Katara is treated like a prize for Aang's success in saving the day, as this romance is portrayed to be mainly one-sided before the last few episodes. Pause. This is me talking. I don't agree with that because Katara had shown multiple advances toward Aang, so I do not agree that it was until the last episode. Continued this person's comment. Most of Katara's affections toward Aang seems more sisterly than romantic. However, we do see Katara show more attraction toward Aang as he matures, and lest we forget the episode where Aang hosts a dance party at the cave. That's one of my favorite episodes. Not just because of Katara and Aang's relationship advancing, but I mean, it's just a funny episode with the kid dancing, and then he just breaks out into dance, and he's like, it's one of my favorite episodes. Back to the comment. This person says, putting aside all of the first, second seasons, as well as the first half of the third seasons, I will admit that Zuko and Katara generally seem to have a good chemistry on screen, but at the time, it also seems more friendly than romantic in the show. Plus, a hypothetical Zutara relationship would face the same issues as Kataang, in that Zuko would be rewarded for turning good with the prize of Katara. Let's also not forget that she and Zuko grow together throughout the third season. When they're together, Zuko begins with the uncontrollable rage and lack of inner peace, while May faces apathy and lack of passion, both primarily a product of how they were raised. Over time, however, we see Zuko grow and find peace, and May start to care about her life and the one she loves. This is best exemplified by the scene at the Boiling Rock. Yes. Ultimately, Katara seemed to show more affection toward Aang and ultimately chose him in the end, and I don't think it's worth breaking two hearts and possibly wiping out the entire Airbender population to force a relationship between two friends who never showed romantic feelings to begin with. I agree, but the only thing, like I said, that I disagree is that I think, so in the beginning, Aang and Katara were definitely just friends. You could see that Aang had a crush on her, but Katara was like, oh, like he's like a little kid, like I'm just not seeing it. And that's fair, but I do think she started to show affection toward him, like the kiss on the cheek and stuff like that towards him. So yeah. The next comment is, let me pick one. For me, both ships had their fair share of flaws and criticism on their development progress. The constant problem in a fandom is that there is constant false dichotomy, that the preferred relationship is 100% perfect and the other ship is completely invalid and no potential at all, which fuels fire on either side. No one likes being invalidated for their view on what makes a good romance between two fictional characters, and that is totally fair. Nicholas Banzuela. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And the last person's comment that I read was Dravbala, and I hope I'm pronouncing those correctly. Someone says, Note, you can say that Zutara didn't have much moments. Yeah, that's sadly true, but in the brief moments they got, their hatred for each other grew into a friendship. Think about it, they were both emotionally mature at the same level. They had the similar vibe of equality to me, in parentheses, which brings natural understanding to them. They felt like they could they felt they could stand for each other and get out of conflicts, getting stronger because they understood each other and accepted each other's at their worst and the best. In my eyes, that is a good indicator for a good relationship. Yes, they didn't have much screen time because Bright favored Kataang over Zutara. And pause. They were endgame before, like, they knew that they were gonna put Kataang together. So all those rumors about Zutara, that those were rumors. Like, Bright knew they were going. So of course they're gonna favor Aang because before anything, they were like, they're gonna end up together. That was the plan. Continue. All I see is a wasted potential of my favorite ship. You can like Kataang better, and that's alright, but think about the fact that the writers were divided into Kataang and Zutarians. If Zutara was to become an endgame, they would have gotten more screen time and they would have gotten a great chemistry. The reason why I didn't is because of the writers' decisions, and there are many reasons why I prefer Zutara better despite Bright's decisions. And that is a fair comment. I see what you're saying, but yeah, I just feel like that they knew they were going to end up together, and that's just what happens. It's not like they changed their decision. Yeah. Someone said, I really liked seeing your perspective. I felt like putting all my own thoughts down here. So please read if you're curious about a random person's stance on the matter. Respect to all opinions. This one is Toodles Cogain. And okay, so they said, for me, Kataang has always felt weird since Katara was always a mother to Aang, especially in book 2. Sure, the scene in the Cave of Two Lovers had that kiss, but I wonder why they like ... never bring it up ever again. I've always interpreted that as Katara not really taking the experience as something definitive, more like something that happened because she had no other options. Let me just insert here. So I don't think that she left. I don't think that Katara felt that way, because at the end of the episode, she was still like blushing. It's like she looked at Aang and like it was a whole thing, like, oh, I hope that was okay, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't agree with that, but let me continue. I also have not forgiven Aang for violating Katara's personal space during the Ember Island players ... They never ever address that either. Aang doesn't say sorry. He doesn't do anything to earn her trust back. It just happens, and it sets a troubling precedent for the relationship to me. Because of the instances where they have some blatantly romantic moment, Aang is kissing Katara without consent. Pause. This whole consent thing is like weird to me, because like when I was a Loki. When I was a kid watching, I was just like, okay. Like, I could understand if Katara had like this thing of like, I said don't touch me or something like that, but Katara, remind me if I'm wrong, but Katara never had this thing of like being angry toward him, or like, and not that she would have to, but I just, in this kind of thing, I see people who don't like Kataang bring that up a lot, and I feel like that's reaching. I respect your opinion, but I feel like for me that's reaching. Most of the instances where they're blatant romantic and kissing Katara without consent, I let the day of the Black Sun invasion kiss pass, since that felt as though he was heading into a fight he might not have returned from. But again, the Ember Island prayers is a solid no for me. And pause. Katara kissed Aang a lot without his consent. She kissed him on the cheek. He did not give his consent. So if you're gonna bring that in, you're gonna have to also call Katara out for that as well. And you can't say it's because, well, Aang likes her, so it was okay. No, he technically did not give his consent. Continuing. Something to also consider is that the last time the two ever speak in book 3 is when they argue, and Aang has a huge freak out, which comes out of nowhere. The one to give her some peace of mind is Zuko, which says a lot. I'm trying to picture this scene in my head, but it's not coming to me. I've literally rewatched this series like 10 times and the scene is not coming to me. So comment down below or I'll look it up. But that's fine. Like, okay, so say if I got in a fight with a love interest or whatever, and I'm like, oh, whatever. Okay, so, and then I go to one of my other friends and we talk it out. That's not romantic. That's just a friend helping me calm down. That doesn't mean I have romantic feelings for that person. I would say that the characters have a very problematic way of making Katara completely useless in LOK and onward. I agree with that. The comics in LOK, in my opinion, are trash, and they completely ruin her character for me and any believability that the ship had in Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I like the comic. I just think Zutara is the better, healthier choice. It has growth and compelling development and an incredible final scene that always touches my heart, especially when compared to Maiko. Maiko is horrible. It is toxic. I think in the beginning, Maiko is definitely toxic. I'll give that. They had like this thing that was just not healthy, but I also think that they are teenagers and they're not going to have the best relationships, and I think they grow out of that. So yeah, Maiko grew on me, and I especially, I mean, would it be Mako, I guess? Mako grew on me as time. Like, I wasn't sold on it. I thought they were too alike, like really, really the same. But I also connected with May of having like a cynical outlook on life, because I mean, maybe that's why I like Aang so much, because I'm like, I wish I was like Aang, like ridiculously positive. But yeah, I think May was toxic in the beginning because they fed off of each other, but I think with Zuko's growth and May coming around to the right side, I think it's fine. So someone said, real quick, I just want to say the thing with Korosami, it was heavily censored by Nickelodeon. The creators had to fight just to get them together in the end. There wasn't any development until books 3 and 4. All 4 seasons weren't greenlit at the same time. At first, they just thought it would be book 1 and they got book 2, but Nick gave them go ahead for books 3 and 4. I remember that. At the time, which allowed them to do more the story, Nick really screwed them over and made the show not as good as it could have been. Though it was still an amazing show, I recommend looking into how much Nickelodeon screwed them over. Yeah, I know that much. I just think if you're gonna do something with a relationship, you can't just shove it in. I would have rather them start another series or another, because right now they have the new Avatar: The Last Airbender studios, so they can do whatever they want, pretty much. I'm assuming, assuming. But I think if you know that you're having all these complications, don't bring a whole relationship in. Like, okay, here's one of my things. I hate when a show puts a relationship together really fast and I don't have time to connect to it and it doesn't make sense. Like, that's one of my pet peeves for a TV show. If you're having to rush a relationship, don't do it. If it's coming out of nowhere, don't do it, because then it's like, okay, where did this come from? This is like, it's out of nowhere. So I'm not a fan of that. I understand that they were going through a lot with the studio, but they could have made other decisions as well. So yeah, rushing relationships that come out of nowhere, I am not a fan of that. Someone said Kataang rules. Someone said, love your content. Thank you very much. Someone said, exactly. Katara will never be able to get along with Zuko very easily after seeing him standing on this side of Azula while she nearly killed Aang, whom she cared for the most. Zutara could be friends, as you said, but they can't get more closer. And also, Aang deserves to be with his love of his life, Katara, doesn't he? I don't agree in the stance of Aang deserves to be with the love of his life. Katara deserves to be with the love of her life as well. The comment I read before, Katara being seen as a prize, they do that a lot of the time with TV shows and movies, and I do agree with that. And it would fall in the line of Zuko as well, is, oh, he turned good, here's his prize. But what I liked about Aang and Katara was that their relationship grew over time and it was equal. It wasn't like the hero, to me it wasn't like the hero gets the girl because he's the hero. We saw their relationship progress. Someone said, no one is saying that there's more canon evidence for Zutara than Kataang. I'm only going to read a little bit of it. Obviously, the facts are on their side. The argument, however, is that them ending up together is at any moments have they together in any moments they have together forced. There's literally only one moment. Okay, when people say that Kataang is one-sided, I mean, I can't make you see what I see or what everyone else sees. That Katara had the same feelings for Aang. I mean, I can't make you see that. Someone said goes against subtle foreshadowing previous episode. Oma and Shu, the red-blue coloring. Cave of Two Lovers. The whole thing with Aang needing to let go of Katara, which never happens. Yeah, I mean, I definitely wanted to see that happen. I thought that was interesting. I really liked that episode, and I like the I mean, it was supposed to be like Aang is gonna choose Katara over the Avatar state, which I get. That's what they were trying to say. But I was like, Aang, what are you doing? Let her go. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, that's what I was thinking. And this person said, it's detrimental to both Aang and Katara's character development. I mean, see the comics, but really never Aang learns anything in relation to Katara. He doesn't learn to let her go. He doesn't learn that just expecting them to be together because he wants them to be together is unhealthy and selfish. He never even learns to see... Oh, I replied to this. Did I? Oh, no, I liked something. He doesn't learn to let her go and doesn't learn that... Okay, so selfish. He never even learns to see her as anything other than his idealized version of her that he wants her to be. Southern Raiders. Okay, so people also bring that up of like, he needed to let her go out and kill someone. Like, let her... And like, I like a good revenge story, but Aang just was like, hey, like, you don't have to go out and murder someone. He knows Katara, and he knows that after she would murder someone, that she would feel very bad about it. So I don't agree with that stance of why would he talk her out of going to get revenge? Katara needed that. What Katara needed was to face her killer and to do what she ended up doing. And Zuko, and it's not like, I don't think Aang was judging her. I think Aang was like, Katara, do you think this is a good idea? Like, I understand that you want, like, and you have to remember how Aang grew up. He is a pacifist. So him trying to talk, and I think he would have done the exact same thing to Toph, Sokka, Zuko. He would have gave the same speech to anyone. So I don't agree with that. And Katara doesn't get a partner who truly understands her. Aang does understand her. So I don't agree with that. I don't think that Aang was like disrespectful to Katara in any way. The only thing that I was mad at Aang with his relationships with Katara and Sokka is that when he stole the scroll to see their father, I was so mad at him. Oh my god. I was like, Aang, like, I can understand he was afraid of being alone again, but I was like, Aang, that was, come on, like, come on. And I liked that they didn't make Aang perfect as well. But yeah, so that's all I'm gonna read because these are really, really long. But thank you guys for leaving these comments. They're really interesting to read, and really you guys really have a lot of passion, and I connect with that. I really do. So thank you. I have to go edit this 22-minute video. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Okay, I'm gonna end the video. Bye.